Hello again. My name is Jason, and today we're going to be reviewing The Maltese Falcon by Dashiell Hammett. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing his name right, but we're going to run with it. The thing is that in the past I have read other books by Hammett. I read The Thin Man, and I saw the movie with Powell. I think his name might be William, but don't quote me on that one. I saw all the Thin Man movies, read The Thin Man, liked it, liked Nick and Nora and their little dog Asta and everything. And so when I saw this book, I thought, yeah, I'll give it a go. I read it, and I gotta say, I'd heard about the Maltese Falcon. I think my dad even owned a copy of it at one point. And so I've seen it. I know that it's a staple in the film noir genre with Humphrey Bogart, that it really influenced a lot of mystery writers and just the whole film noir genre. And it's a very influential book in its own way. But I gotta say, I didn't really like it. And mostly it was because of the characters involved, not because of the plot or the writing or anything like that. So it opens up with a woman coming to see Sam Spade and Miles Archer. They are partners in a private detective agency. Basically, she comes in with the story that she needs them to find this guy named Thursby because he's run off with her sister, and she's just trying to get her sister back home. Now, Sam Spade's secretary believes this lady to be a good lady and tells Sam to help her out and everything. But this is at the point where you meet Sam Spade and you meet Miles Archer, and you kind of find out what kind of people they are. And let me say, they're not really great people. Miles Archer, he's talking about how he'd really like to get with their client because she's really pretty. You find out that he's actually married. And I know that a lot of people don't necessarily have that that mentality anymore, but it's kind of important. The thing is that then you find out also that Sam doesn't really like Miles. They're just partners right now, and he's planning to get rid of him, and that he's also sleeping with Miles's wife behind his back. So anyways, Miles goes off, and later that night he's killed. And the police want to initially blame it on Sam because they know that Sam is, fooling around, or at least they suspect that Sam is fooling around with Miles's wife. And they think that, he bumped him off because he wanted his wife. And he's like, you don't have any proof. And he's really hard-nosed with the police. Really hard-nosed. I read a quote about Sam Spade being kind of the detective, at least from Hammett's perspective, that he's the detective that other detectives wanted to be, wished they could be in their most I don't know what the term was that he used off the top of my head, but basically he was the detective they wish they could be in their more cocky moments. So anyway, Sam then tries to find their client and find out what's actually going on, because he's like, why would he gun down Miles? It doesn't make any sense. And he finds her, and almost, it's like he almost has to beat a confession out of her. He's not really gentle with her. He's not like I said, he's not a nice guy. Now, maybe you could argue that he in his line of work, he can't be a nice guy. He has to be hard-nosed like this. Otherwise, people are going to walk all over him. Nobody's going to respect him. All that kind of stuff. Laying that aside, he gets more from her than she had originally confided to him. She talks about the Maltese Falcon, and this is where this particular MacGuffin comes in. Now, if you're not familiar with the term MacGuffin, basically a MacGuffin is something that's in the plot for the whole plot to center around. In literature, the One Ring from Tolkien, that is a MacGuffin. It could be replaced with the one sword, or it could be replaced with the one pendant or tiara or crown or book of power. It doesn't matter. If you replace it, the whole story can still take place. The characters have something to chase after, to protect, whatever, to destroy, and it doesn't change the plot. Nothing gets changed. I mean, they do it in movies all the time. I think MacGuffin might actually be a movie rather than a literary term, but it works either way. With the Maltese Falcon, it could be the Maltese hamster for all we care. But what you find out is that the Maltese Falcon is a gold statuette that's encrusted with jewels, and in order to hide its value, it's been covered over with black enamel. And there are various people who want the Maltese Falcon because of its historic value, because of its intrinsic value, because of, they just want to own the thing. There's various motives, but you've come to find out that the woman who hired Sam and his partner, her name is Bridget O'Shaughnessy, and she wants Sam to help her track down Thursby because he has the Maltese Falcon and she wants to get it away from him. The thing about the characters in the Maltese Falcon, like I said, I enjoyed the story for the story itself. There's an item of great value, and a lot of people want it. And their efforts to outsmart and double cross each other and to try to get that item for themselves, that's a good story. It makes for a good story. But the thing is that the characters themselves, out of all the characters that are there, the only one that in my mind seemed relatable and likable was Bridget O'Shaughnessy, and she was a thief, a very, very amoral thief. She double crosses Sam several times and tries to get Sam with her feminine wiles to do what she wants. And Sam, in his turn, he's just not a really likable guy. He's pretty much a scumbag. Anyway, he gets approached later by Wilmer, if I remember his name correctly. Anyway, Wilmer was hired by another character, Gutman, who employs Wilmer not for his brains but for his gun. And when Sam and Wilmer first meet, Sam takes him apart. Just absolutely takes him apart. The guy has no chance against Sam. Sam recognizes him for what he is right away, pounces on the guy, and just humiliates him. Which kind of comes back to haunt Sam later. Anyway, Gutman approaches Sam through Wilmer and wants Sam to find the Maltese Falcon for him. Offers him a lot of money to do it. There's a Greek that's involved, and out of all the characters, if I remember correctly, the Greek has the most claim on the item. He kind of wants it not necessarily for himself or anyone else, but for an actual legitimate reason. Everybody else just kind of wants it for the money. But you just can't really trust any of the characters. Even the Greek doesn't really seem all there as far as being upfront and honest in his dealings either. So anyway, going back to the story, the thing is that, as I said, it's a good story. It's just the characters, it's not really good with the characters. They're just not sympathetic. They're not likable. You just sit there and you're going like, man, Sam's awful. He's an awful human being. And everybody else is pretty much like him. It would have been much nicer if Sam had been an upstanding guy. And he'd been a tough detective, and he stuck to his guns when the police were questioning him and stuff. And he's like, you guys have nothing to charge me with. You got to let me go. I'm going to be hard-nosed with you because I know I got to be hard-nosed with you. And he's going to Bridget and is like, my partner just got killed. You had something to do with it. I need that information. You will give it to me. Been hard-nosed with her too. It would have made him a much more relatable and likable character. Whereas you read it and you're just like, man, I don't want any of these people to win. Oh well. So the Greek, Gutman, Bridget, they all want the Maltese Falcon. Thursby ends up as well kicking the bucket pretty early on. And once again, it just kind of all comes down to the police getting involved at certain points and trying to pin various things on Sam. It's like, it's always Sam that's their go-to, and like, yeah, it's you, and we're going to try to get you. And you kind of have that wonderful film noir sense when you're reading it, of the hard-nosed private detective going toe-to-toe with the police, and the police blinking first. That's kind of cool. Kind of very, very much in this genre with the that's the characterization of the main character. So anyway, once again, it's with mixed feelings that I review this book, because on the one hand, yeah, the story was good. The story was the plot had a good flow to it. The different plot points, they make up a good story. But the characters, I just didn't like them. I just didn't like the characters. Bridget O'Shaughnessy was the most sympathetic. But again, with her trying to double-cross everyone, even Sam, her one ally in this whole thing, in this whole mess, trying to double-cross him, she's just like, oh, I'm done with these people. You can keep them. So anyway, that's the end. Like I said, that's my review. Like, subscribe. If you have questions, comments, put them down below in the comments section. I will try to get back to you on those. If you have other books you'd like me to review that I may or may not have read, I'll try to get a copy of it if I haven't read it, and I will tell you my thoughts if I have read it. It's kind of weird. I've read so many books by Simon R. Green, and Sandy Mitchell, and Tolkien, and all these authors, and ever since I did my first review, I kind of have this reluctance to review the same author really quickly again, like I did with the first batch of reviews. So that's why we're reviewing the Maltese Falcon, is because I have so many books that I've read and so many books that I want to talk about, but I have this somewhat reluctant feeling when it's like, well, I could review all of the Nightside series, by Simon R. Green. I could review all of the Caiaphas Cain novels by Sandy Mitchell. And I'll get around to them eventually, but I'm trying. And Terry Pratchett, one of my favorites. I could review all of those ones as well. I think out of his Discworld novels, there's only one that I haven't read so far. And I'm going to be reading it pretty soon, I think. Anyway, so like and subscribe, and click on the bell icon to get notified, and let me know what you think.